What were the three biggest lessons that doing real estate sales taught you about life and business in general?
Yeah, I would say not giving up, because with sales, it's like you have to stay on it, and learning how to differentiate between, like, read people, I guess, is a big one, because I got fooled so often. Like, as a young agent, you don't realize how many fakes there are out there. Like, people who will just waste your time and pretend to be buyers. I had this dude, and I was so naive, and looking back, I was an idiot. He walked into the open house and told me that he was in the market for like 25 to $50 million homes. The guy wasn't, like, representing himself in such a way where he could afford these houses. And nor would a guy of that caliber realistically trust an 18-year-old kid who's, like, brand new to show him, like,
20, yeah.
yeah, show me 50. Like, chances are they have business managers. They don't even show up to the houses first. They have assistants do it first, and then they have people vet it, and then they show up, and they're very discreet. This guy was very flashy about, like, oh yeah, I did this, and my company does that. Like, they're talking about, I had no idea. So I'm sitting there showing him houses, and every agent is looking at me like, is this guy pre-qualified? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh yeah, he's good. I was just an idiot. And I remember one agent, I would consider her like a not a mentor, but she really took me under her wing. And she had a listing, and she's like, bring him to my listing, and I'll feel him out for you. And she was there anyway. And so he came there, and she started asking him questions about, like, his proof of funds. He literally goes into his car in his trunk and pulls out papers and hands it to her. And she's like, this is a proof of funds. It was like a Word document the guy just printed out, saying, like, X amount company blank, this. And afterwards, she's like, this guy is fake. He's not real. He's not a real buyer. And then...
But you'd already spent 20 listings, showing him 20 listings.
I was an
or something
idiot.
at that
yeah,
time.
But then you also ruin your name in the process of, like, any time you bring a buyer by, these agents remember that. They know, oh, this is Graham. He's the kid who brought by this, like, really bad buyer. He wasted my time. I spent an hour setting up this house, and, like, their time is valuable. My time, I got nothing to lose. And this guy, meanwhile, was just, I think he was just dreaming, and he was using it as inspiration, and he would spend, like, 2 hours at the house just, like, laying back.
Oh my gosh.
So I was an idiot.
Oh man.
Absolutely
Okay, so
idiot.
learning to read people, never giving up, being consistent.
Yeah.
But you can't never give up unless you know how to read the right person.
Correct.
Right? Know what their really intentions are. What's another big lesson you think you learned from real estate?
I loved it. I don't know. There was something about it where I just felt I could do this 24/7, and it never felt like work. It's just like what I enjoyed doing. Like, I got so excited every day to wake up. Like, the feeling sometimes where you had just, like, a really good day and you can't go to sleep. Or, like,
so
I don't know.
excited, yeah.
Yeah, or like maybe like a Christmas morning where you can't wait to wake up. Like, you're going to Disneyland, like something like that. That's how I felt going into work. I just enjoy it. Like, I would wake up early and, like, be excited every day to be able to go and do real estate and, like, learn and be around these houses. Because for me, it was so foreign to, like, walk into a $5 million house, get to be around people who could afford that. And, like, everyone I saw, I was like, what can I learn from this person? I just found it really inspiring.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it really opened up my mind in terms of, like, what's possible. And so I really believe that, like, having access to Los Angeles just gave me that worldview of, like, it's insane the possibilities that are out there.
Yes.
And just believing that, hey, if these guys could do it, why can't I? And you would see that they're nothing special. It's just they've got good at a skill, and you don't need to be, like, this superhuman person.
I'm curious about your thoughts on money and relationships.
Yeah.
How has been living an extreme frugal financial lifestyle supported or hurt you in intimate relationship with your girlfriend?
I don't think it's ever hurt.
It's never hurt.
I don't think it's ever hurt. Even, like, just dating in general, I think there are cheaper ways to do everything. And people that know me in general, like, they kind of would know what they're getting into.
Right. They're not expecting you to do something.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a surprise, but, like, I would say a lot of the things that you would do, like, in a relationship, they're either free or they're very inexpensive. Like, I think it's more important to spend quality time with the other person versus, like, hey, we're going to go to, like, this fancy restaurant. I think there's a time and a place for that, for sure. But I think at least for the first, like, the dating period, it doesn't have to be expensive at all. And with Macy, it's been really nice because I don't want to say she's as frugal as she's okay with spending money on certain things if she feels like the value's there, versus I'm always, like, the cost, like, oh, but the value might not be there for this. We could get 80% of it. I want to say with her, I've definitely loosened up because I could afford it. But a lot of the things still, it's like she enjoys contributing. I appreciate that. I think some of our trips, it's like, she's got credit card points. She's like, I opened up these credit cards. I got the sign up. I was like, stuff like it's a free trip, So a lot of things like this, they don't have to cost money. But I will say I have loosened up
Really?
with Macy, just in the sense that I don't fret over like a $60 dinner anymore. Like 5 years ago, I would see that $50 dinner, $60, and be like, well, we could do that for cheaper over here. I'm going to eat a little bit at home, and I'm going to go there, get one.
my
Like,
gosh.
bad.
Before the interview continues, if you feel like you're not living your most authentic life, not leaning into your purpose, and not living the life that your future self would be extremely proud of, I've written a new book called The Greatness Mindset, and I think you're gonna love this. Through powerful stories, science-backed strategies, and step-by-step guidance, The Greatness Mindset will help you overcome all the different challenges in your life to design the life of your dreams and then turn it into your reality. Make sure to click the link below in the description to get your copy today. Okay, let's get back to this video. Do you wish you would have changed that? If you could go back, would you have done it differently? Have more balance? Or you?
Probably not. I mean, I'm sure there are things going back where I'm like, yeah, I should have done that. It was stupid. Like one time, I know I'm going to get hate for this, but there was a car meet and I had budgeted. And again, like it's different if you're making like 20 grand a year. I was probably making 100 grand a year. And I had budgeted that day only for gas. I didn't have enough for the food. And they're all driving through Malibu and they're going to like this fancy place for lunch. I got a Subway instead. And, we sat down at the table and I asked the server really nicely because it was like a row of like 20 people. Like, can I eat my Subway here?
Oh my God.
And they were totally cool with it. And I figured the tip that I'd leave them is way less than what I would have spent on this meal that I didn't need. I wanted a Subway. I didn't want to spend $50 on anything.
Sure.
So I just left the tip instead.
There you go.
And I ate my Subway. They were totally fine with it. I forget what, it was a restaurant in Malibu. There was, but there were 20 people at the table. I don't know how big the bill would be. But, anyway, like that's the stuff that in hindsight, it was cringy to do. The other thing I would do all the time is, if I were out with friends and there's extra food and they weren't taking it home, I would be the one to be like,
You would take it home.
everything.
Box it up.
Everything. But I would get a whole meal out of that.
That's great. Yeah.
A whole meal.
I need to take
hated-
more stuff home.
Yeah.
That's what I need to do.
Oh yeah, nothing
Not
would
be wasteful.
Nothing would ever go to waste.
That's
Even
good.
would we go out with the Oppenheim group, it was usually the 6 of us.
Oh,
We'd
they
go
had
out,
lots of good food then.
And Jason was the type to order everything.
And then you'd say, you
'Cause
got
he
meal
likes,
for...
Yeah, but because he likes to be like, I'm gonna have a few bites of this, a
Uh-huh.
few bites of that, a few bites of this, and then there'd be like half a meal there, and he would just I'm gonna get I'm gonna take it all home, and that I'd put it in the fridge and I'd live off that for days. So that's a lot. Like when I made one of my how much I spend in a week videos, I think my grocery bill is like $100 and something a month for food.
I don't know how you
But
live
now
off
a
that,
lot of
man.
that was subsidized by eating really good food, but taking it all home and then divvying it up throughout. It's like a meal prep, but it's food that would have gone to waste.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious, what do you think of the biggest money myths that keep a lot of people broke?
money myths that keep people broke. I don't know. I always feel like that you could die tomorrow is a common thing that I would hear a lot of people say. Of I'd rather just live now than. My perspective is that you can always live tomorrow too. Your chances of living tomorrow, knock on this, much higher than passing away.
Yeah.
So I think plan for tomorrow is a probably better approach statistically. I feel like you can live just as easily in your 30s and early 40s as you can in your 20s. I'm sure the experiences in your 20s are different. Looking back, I still feel mentally, I feel 23 to 25. I don't think I've grown up since then. Mentally, I still feel the same age, except I need more sleep now. But I feel now, I've done so much saving throughout my 20s that now I can finally loosen up to a certain extent. Just
Buy an extra piece of sushi. It's one piece.
Yeah, I still look at prices. We went out to sushi the other day. I saw a $28 roll and a $15 roll, and I'm like, the 15, I get 2 of those versus 1 of those.
Yeah.
I'd rather the 2, so I got the 2.
Why did you feel like you needed to be so obsessive about every penny and decisions of like driving to see a friend? Is it worth the money? Like when?
Yeah, a lot of it I thought of like how much I would be making or the cost of like my time and then extrapolating from there like what my time is worth doing certain activities.